Hello, 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 ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Welcome to Coffee, Tea, You and Me with Coach Powell. Today, we have an exciting episode for you. We're going to be talking about benefits and how do you use benefits to express gratitude? How do you use benefits to improve quality? How do you use benefits to definitely increase and expand performance? All of these things we're going to be talking about. We're going to be discussing, your unique skills, the differences and advantages that you might bring to the table, and how you might express and share those thoughts and those ideas. Now, I will tell you from the onset, if you guys have been following the series we've been talking about, in this series, we have a mantra: benefits, compel, stories, sell, and facts tell. When you open up your mouth to talk about the things that you want to talk about, you want to start right off the bat with benefits. What are the things that you offer that differentiate you from others who may say they offer the same things, but what are the benefits that you get to share with your clients, with your shareholders, with your stakeholders, with your investors, with anyone who has any type of stake in your business, in your profession, in your industry? How do you relay those benefits? And I would promise you this: those benefits are going to be different. The benefits that customers receive are different than benefits than your shareholders or stakeholders are going to receive, and they're different than benefits than your suppliers might receive. Or even if you're a supplier, the benefits that those that you supply your talent and products and services with are going to receive something completely different. And you need to be very, very good at articulating what those benefits are. Now, how do you know that the benefits that you're sharing are going to be useful, are going to be meaningful, are going to be relevant, and are going to be significant? Those are the things we're going to talk about today. Now, we're going to do a little homework before we start the show. For those of you who are watching the show and coming to us for the first time, we want you to put your information in the chat. We want you to tell us who you are, where you're coming from. This is a very, very business friendly time, right? So that means if you have something to offer, if you have an event that you're going to, or an event that you're sponsoring, something that you're sharing out there in the universe, go ahead and put that information in the chat. We want to see those links. We want to see those shout outs to people that you love. Right? Let us know where you're coming from. Let us know where you're logging in from. And we're looking forward to speaking and sharing and spend some time with you. Feel like um, as fully engaged as you can be. We want you to be there. So if you have questions, you have thoughts, you have ideas, please put that information in the chat. This is being broadcast live on Facebook, on YouTube, on LinkedIn, and on Instagram. And so you can go back and watch the replay on demand if you want. If you don't have time to deal with the whole episode, you can always go back and catch any of our episodes on any of those channels. Look for the history, and you'll be able to see all of those things that we've brought to the table in the past. Today, I've got a super special guest that is going to be coming to the table with us today. And I'm going to share a little bit about her so that you understand, who we're dealing with. This is an entrepreneur's entrepreneur. Today's guest is super impressive, and she literally blows me away every time I get a chance to speak with her. She's been on the show before. I've definitely interviewed her before. This is a person I have the highest level of respect and adoration for when it comes to business and business development ideas and what she needs to do. Her business today is Oxypam, and she's the owner of Oxypam, and it is a world-renowned small business development organization, a women-owned small business award-winning organization. And she's amazing in the space of healthcare and helping individuals develop what they need to develop. And I'm gonna introduce her, Pamela Coltrane, in just a little while as she gets some couple things squared away. She got some technology issues in the backstage, but she's going to come and visit with us. And when she gets back on, I'll make sure I bring her up and introduce you to the lady who literally needs no introduction. This is Miss Pamela Colton. Pamela, so
Hi,
good
how
to
are
have you.
you?
So good to have you. Why don't you tell the folks who you are, what you're doing today?
I am Pamela Colton. I am the CEO of OxyPAM. We specialize in portable, lightweight oxygen concentrators for people with lung disease, lung cancer, COPD, and post COVID 19. And this is what it looks like. It's a portable 4.7 pounds oxygen concentrator for people who are prescribed for oxygen. Thank you.
Wow, that's awesome. How long you been in business, Pamela?
Since 2018.
Very, very good. Very good. Any little quick tips for these small businesses out there? Any lesson you want to share with them really quick?
No matter what's going on in your life, keep going and keep silent. Go on a mission. And when you get to the top, let everyone know about it. Because not everyone's going to understand your vision or what you're doing or how you intend to get there. But when everything starts to go crazy, that's when a big breakthrough's going. So keep going and keep your goals set.
Is awesome. That is so true. Thank you so very much for that, Pam. I'll put you backstage for a couple minutes, and we're going to bring you back when I get deeper into the topic, and I hopefully you'll come on. And by the way, if you have anything that you want to share along the way as I'm explaining what we're talking about today in today's topic, feel free to jump on in and let me know. I'll hold your hand up. I'll see you backstage. I'll bring you on. It's like, oh, Pam, I got something she want to share. Fair enough?
Thank you.
Okay. So today's topic, as I told you, was we're continuing the discussion of benefits, the language you need to use, the style you need to have, and there's the difference between being a benefactor and a beneficiary, right? No matter what you do in the series of developing meaning, significance, and relevance, you're either playing the role of a benefactor or you're playing the role of a beneficiary. These are things that are happening simultaneously in the experience that we have called life, right? And so, as a small business owner, it's very, very important that you understand how to play both of those roles and how to do exceptionally well in both of those roles. Because if you are a horrible beneficiary, basically that means when someone gives you something that you didn't even deserve, they just gave it to you because they love you, they care for you, they trust you, there's something about you that they have is special, and they're going to share something of value with you. They're you are a beneficiary at that point. Your response and how you respond to that gift, how you respond to the gift of talent, to the gift of treasure, to the gift of time that someone may pour into you matters greatly in terms of what you might have or what might happen in the continuation of that relationship. I see my boy, my frat brother just bounced in. Brother Michael Council is here. I'm going to give him a chance to introduce himself real quick before we continue on with the topic of benefits and beneficiaries and all that kind of good stuff. I'm going to let Mike introduce himself really quickly. Mike, why don't you tell the people what you're up to, what you're doing? Don't forget to bring yourself off of mute when you do so, and we'll let you take away from there.
Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. It's nice to see you all here again. Hey, with Coach Powell, all this valuable information he's giving out. Looking forward to talking about more benefits and how, relationships we can create benefits, not only from a business perspective, but from relationships that we have with potential clients and people that we're teaming and doing business with. So, with that said, I'm ready to get going. And let's go. Let's get the lesson going.
So for those of you who don't understand, not Michael's not only is one of my good fraternity brothers, my Phi Beta Sigma brother, he is a cybersecurity expert. He knows see all that soup salad behind his name right there? All that stuff means a whole bunch of stuff to a whole bunch of people. Maybe not to me because my brain doesn't expand that well in terms of all that information. But Mike is the man to go to talk to about everything involving cybersecurity. And I'm so proud of him for all the things he gets to contribute to the world for us. Thank you so very much, Mike. I'm gonna put you backstage for a couple seconds, and then I'm gonna continue with the topic. And backstage, you can chat with Pamela. She's back there. You guys can find each other in the chat room, introduce each other, all that kind of stuff on the private chat side, because she can see the private chat and nobody else can see the private chat. So back to what I was saying earlier. Now, all of you all who are thinking about being in business or in business, realize that you offer benefits, right? That you offer something happens for people when you've delivered the product or service that you've committed to delivering to to them, right? They get to have and be and do and have something that they could not have been, done, or had without you. So you think about that. What is the feeling that they're left with? I can already tell you, when Pamela puts one of her machines in and people can breathe better, you know, you got to get a sense for that. When you are at a loss for breath and or things aren't working right, and you can be assured that you can take your little bag with you, you can walk on out the house and go do the things you want to do, enjoy your life, and still be able to function and do the things that maybe you want to do. That has got to be an amazing feeling, right? So what does she do? Yes, she does do these oxygen machines, but what she really does is give people their life back, is give them opportunities to engage again in society and move around and not be tied to this heavy oxygen machine that they can't get to and all that kind of stuff. That's the benefits that she truly offers. So if you know someone with COPD, or you know someone who has lung or breathing issues, you would be doing them a good service. You'll be giving them the benefit if you would introduce somebody like Pamela. Pamela, don't forget to put your contact information in the chat as we're going through, Pamela, because I want to make sure that people know how to get in contact with you. Same thing for you, Mike. If you want people to get in contact with you, put your contact information down there, and I'll make sure I post it, during the show at some point in time. Okay. Today's topic. Let's get into it. We're talking about benefits. But we're talking about what benefits mean in the context of two topics that most of us are not used to talking about benefits in the context of. We're talking about benefits in context of both quality and gratitude. Quality and gratitude. And as we get into today's topics, we're going to talk about how we may rethink what we mean by profitability. We're going to talk about the link between gratitude and hope. We're going to talk about the latest research on the foundation of quality performance and what human characteristics that we need to bring to the table to magnify that. We're going to talk about how today's leaders need to show up and practice what they need to practice in terms of gratitude. And we're going to talk about my favorite topic about free time, what free time really is and what it really is not. So we're going to clarify a couple ideas and notions for you guys. And I hope you guys will roll with me. And again, ask questions, engage. If you have a question, go ahead and throw it out in the chat. But we're going to start with framing this conversation with a quote. This is a quote from Cassandra Clare, who wrote Clockwork Princess. And in this quote, she shares some interesting ideas and thoughts, and I want to share them with you. So in terms of context of benefits, it starts off with like this. It says, "I want more than that," said Will. "You made me want more than that. You showed me I was only ever cursed because I had chosen to believe myself so. You told me there was possibility, meaning, and now you want to turn your back on what you created." How many times in our lives have we bumped into people who have exposed us to new ideas, new concepts, new ways of thinking? And in that exposure, we began to hunger. We began to thirst. We began to desire more than we have right now. It's as natural as any other social or human process. Whenever we bump into somebody who has something that we like, or we bump into somebody who shares something that we think is interesting, or we bump into somebody who helps us experience it through their stories, through their ideas, through their concepts, that this could be possible, right? We want more. It's natural, right? So it's super important for us as product and service providers to understand when we say we want more, what are we really saying? Where does the notion for our desires and our hopes and dreams even come from? What made us connect to that in the first place? That we said we want to win, we want to get this, we want to get that, we want to have this, we want to be this, we want to do these things. Why? What inspires us to move from desire to the point where we were going to even claim a future prize as our own in today's term? I'm going to get this. I'm going to have that. I'm going to be there. What drives us to execution and finally to fulfillment? You see, once you start to look for these kinds of things and start to look for them on purpose, you're going to find that simultaneously another thing happens for you. You're going to be faced with an understanding that right now in the space that you're in, you don't have the thing that you want. And in that space, I want you to start to realize a couple things. If you could figure out how to not be in that space from a position of deficit, but from a position of gratitude, a whole world of opportunities are going to open up for you. What's going to happen for you is you're going to begin to realize that no matter where you might find yourself today on this measurement of socioeconomic success, after just a little experience, and my panelists are going to verify this for you, after just a little of experience, you'll have had your eyes open to begin to see endless possibilities from what you already have had the benefit of experience. You'll begin to see that where you are today, whatever you came through, however you got to the position that you are today, is just the launching pad for where you're going to go in the future. But you have to be able to appreciate where you are today in order for you to not fall into the despair and the anguish and the woe is me and I wish I could have and I should have been by here. I should have been this far by now. I should have done this by this. Because sometimes when we see other people and they expose us to these new opportunities, we go, oh wow, why didn't I have this? Why didn't I do this? Why didn't I take this turn instead of that turn earlier in my life? And I'm going to tell you, you have a choice to not accept that noise and to cancel that thought process in your brain and to realize that you got here and you've received everything that you've received. And no matter where you are, there's others who did not receive the same. There's others who don't have the same level of excitement, the same level of enlightenment, the same opportunities that you have now in front of you. And you have what you have because you're on your journey. You're not on somebody else's journey. You're on your journey as you begin to accept and be more grateful for the position that you currently hold. You're going to see enlightenment in your future and as a potential reality in your life. And this is not being unrealistic, right? This is understanding and being able to see around you what you should be grateful for, what you should be thankful for, what you should give a testimonial about. Because when you can do that and stay in that, you're going to be able to see clearly all the things that you desire and all the things that you want are going to be much easier for you to see a way into that. They're going to be much easier for you to talk to people about where you're going without bringing the baggage of where you came from behind. And when you share your vision about where you're going in a wonderful way and all the benefits that you're going to be able to give and share with others along the way, you're going to find that you become super attractive to people that you want to be super attractive to. Because you're not going to share this with people that you don't want to be super attracted to. You want to share this with people that you already know. That if they can receive the wisdom and the insight as to where you're going, then your greatest rewards are going to be them going, you know what? Can I go with you just for a little while? Can I hang out with you just for a little while on your journey? Can I be there with you as you conquer this next obstacle? As you get, no, you don't got to tell them all your goals and all your strategies and all your techniques and everything everything you're doing. You just have to be wonderful at sharing the destiny that you have, that you think that you're moving towards, and what that benefit might be to others. And I promise you, people are going to go, oh, wow. People ask me all the time, so what do you do? I don't tell them, well, I'm the CEO of Coach Powell Training and Development. That's who I am. And to me, when I hear it, that says what I do. But I know it doesn't say anything to them that's of value of me. And people ask me what it is I do. I tell them I provide the most amazing services for small businesses out there. What I help them do, especially for businesses that have been involved in the game for a period of time, I help them refocus their energies so they can maximize their potential and grow quickly to a level of professionalism and performance that they have never experienced before and maintain that high level of performance for the rest of their business career. And I can do it in 4 months or less. All I got to do is make sure I choose the right clients. People hear that, and they immediately want to know, how do you do it? They want to immediately know, how can I get involved? They immediately want to know, tell me more. And that's when I can get into the details, if I choose to, of what's going on next. But I am connected to the benefits that I offer, and I understand those benefits. If I was talking to an investor, I'm going to share different benefits. If I'm talking to a stakeholder, I'm going to share different benefits. If I'm talking to, somebody who is at a bank or a venture capital firm or whatever it is, I'm going to share with them different benefits because they're not going to be interested in the same benefits that my customers or clients might be interested in. So you got to know who you're talking to, but you also have to know what it means to be a benefactor of whatever it's product or service or good or talent that you bring to the table. Now, I'm going to share with you a couple of things about this rethinking of what we think profit really is. Because when you understand different ways of viewing profit, then you also will understand different ways that you are already beneficiary of certain levels of profit. Because people have already given you things that you didn't deserve. Maybe you didn't even ask for, but you've been the beneficiary of their talent, their time, and their treasure to a certain degree. And by the way, if you think you've paid for it, there's no way you can do that. Economically, it's impossible to pay people what they're worth. If you paid everybody that you ever work with everything that they're worth, you would have no money left. You would have you wouldn't have anything left to pay, right? Because that's not how our economic world works. That doesn't mean that you haven't gotten the services that you deserved, even more than what you paid for. You may need to rediscover how you look at it. Here's a quote from Arthur Miller. Arthur Miller said, "Don't be seduced into thinking that which does not make a profit is without value." I love that thought process because a lot of times people say, "Well, Marvin, you give a lot away for free." I wouldn't give people that information. I wouldn't give people that opportunity or all those things and so on and so forth. It's like, yeah, but guess what? What I gave away, I had it to give away. I had it in abundance, and so I gave it to somebody who I thought was deserving of it. I took my benefits and I gave somebody else, making them the beneficiary of the things that I already know, own, and control. I know they deserve it and I know they appreciate it, so why not give it to them if I have it in abundance? Now, if I'm given in from a scarcity point of view and I'm given something that I don't really have to give, that's when it's going to turn into a deficit on me. But I have it given in abundance, why wouldn't I give it? Because they're going to value that, right? That's going to be profit to them that they're going to be able to share. And then they're going to be able to leverage it and do other things with it. And who do you think is going to get the credit? I know people out there go, oh man, they're going to steal your stuff and they're going to steal your ideas. I don't care about that. If I cared about that, I wouldn't give it. If I was scared, I wouldn't give it. If I was fearful, I wouldn't give it, right? Think about it. Don't be seduced into thinking that which does not make a profit is without value, because profit for you is not necessarily profit for somebody else. Here's what Voltaire says. Voltaire says, despite the enormous quantity of books, how few people read. And if one reads profitably, one would realize how much stupid stuff the vulgar herd is content to swallow every day. One man's resource is another man's cancer. And you have to think about that when you're talking about consuming quantities of content over a period of time. How does it help you move forward? How does it help other people move forward? When you're sitting out just zoning out, doing something for the fun of it, reading something for the fun of it, watching some TV program, hanging out on social media, just doing it. Are you being seduced into believing that what you're reading has value, has meaning? Because I promise you, those people who are getting sucked into consuming negative content or content that's not uplifting or somehow doesn't add to the forward flow of human history, they end up with this everybody's against me or I have to be like everybody else kind of mentality, and it works against them. We're fed enough images and stories that devalue our humanity. They tell us that competition is the most important thing. They tell us that doing better than your neighbor is the most important thing. They tell us that looking this way or that way is the most important thing. When those are just things, they're not necessarily important in any iteration whatsoever. But you got to know, you got to be able to discern what is going to add to the culture, what's going to add to your human value. Instead of an upbringing of collaboration and consideration, which we all should have, where everyone feels supported and encouraged, mostly in Western society, we experience isolation, conditional love, and we lose parts of ourselves in the process of simply growing up. Then what we have to do as an adult is to spend the majority of our time trying to undo the baggage and pick up the pieces that we left behind of ourselves. We have to find ourselves again. We have to find our purpose again. We have to find life and ability to care and take care of not just the well-being of our own selves, but the well-being of our families and our communities. These things are super, super important. That's why you have to have this language that I'm talking about. You have to be able to embrace these benefits. But when you can carefully curate the input and the activities that you allow yourself to put yourself into, it helps you to elevate yourself and elevate others. It keeps everybody moving on a positive and supportive track. We need to step back and ask ourselves this question as often as we can. How can we do or participate in serving the greater good? Are we just being entertained at what we do and what we're doing, what we're spending our time with? Or are there relevant lessons that we can learn and carry forward? If it does serve us or others in some sustainable way, then the benefit might be an unlimited one, if at all. And it's important to seek these things, it's important to find these things, it's important to share these things, because that's how we benefit the world. That's how we benefit society. That's how we benefit each other. And finally, it's how we benefit ourselves. The research says this: leaders that are able to embrace and truly embrace that they're responsible for sharing significant benefits with others. On their teams, the dynamic of the team gets dramatically improved. People learn to express gratitude. They learn to enhance their work culture. They make more polite and considerate conversations. They're kinder to one another. Dramatically decreases any type of mistreatment. If people get mistreated, they think it's a mistake instead of going, oh my God, they said this or they did this, da, da, da. They go, you know what? They didn't mean it that way. They give each other the benefit of the doubt because they know underneath it all is collaboration, is consideration, is kindness. right? Number two, when people really truly embrace this benefit thought process and this ideology of embracing gratitude, performance and engagement, both of these things, dramatically improve. Studies show that over 93% of people in the workplace who feel valued, they're motivated, they do their best work. And even 88% of those people feel higher levels of engagement. So do you want engagement from people that you talk to, people that you work with, people that work with you? You really got to embrace gratitude in order to get that to happen. You have to do it in a way that's going to be understood and appreciated. You can't be this weird person who is just, you know, overdoing the gratitude thing. And I'm gonna leave that right there because I know we all know people who can't stop being grateful, but you point them down to anything specific they're grateful for, and they don't even know what they're grateful for. They're just grateful to be alive. Okay, that's wonderful. That's nice you can get there, but what specifically about being alive are you really grateful for that you're going to be able to do or you're going to be able to share with others? That can be leveraged, right? Number three, leaders who embrace the benefits of gratitude are able to reduce stress of their own lives and enhances their own self-control. When you practice gratitude, right, it improves your interpersonal relationships, it improves your professional and business relationships, it improves how everyone sees and works with you. And the studies show that if you just practice journaling gratitude for just 10 days, you dramatically reduce any impolite behavior that you're experiencing from other people. Let me say that again. If you were to practice just for 10 days journaling gratitude, what does it mean to you? How does it work with you? Um, Things that you're thankful for, really truly appreciate. For 10 days, just do that. You're going to reduce the impolite behavior that you experience from other people. Why is that true? Because of number four. Gratitude promotes pro-social behavior. When you're grateful about life, you experience people differently and they experience you differently, right? They make better organizational citizens. They make better workplace environments. They make better business partnerships. They make better investors. They make better anything you need for people in your business is going to be elevated when you learn how to truly appreciate people. And you don't even have to tell them. You're probably gonna tell them, but that's not a requirement for this to work. You have to be a nice person. You have to be a grateful person. You have to be a person who walks in that light of oh my God, I get to do this. I get to experience this. I get to be in this place. I get to do this at this time in my life. Instead of I have to do this, I gotta do this, and I need to do this, and you know, it's how you do it. It's your attitude, right? Get this right, you're going to walk in a special kind of light in the world, and people are going to appreciate working with you. The team dynamics are going to grow dramatically. Overall engagement and participation is going to go through the roof in everything that you do, and you're going to enhance your performance and the performance of others. What is not to get out of practicing and being in a gratitude mindset? Speaking of so, I am super, super thankful for my guests who've agreed to show up today, and I'm super appreciative of them. I know they're chomping at the bit with and weighing in some thoughts and ideas. Who wants to go first? I'm gonna let y'all raise your hand. Up, Miss Pamela's up. Pamela, how did you experience anything and everything that we shared today?
Thank you so much, Coach and Marvin. Everything you said is on topic. I have one of my journals. I have been journaling for many, many years. And every night I sit down, even though I just came from Dubai, I was journaling before I went that I was going to be there and I saw myself there. And I always put in the first sentence that I'm grateful, showing gratitude and appreciation for everything that's coming to the table. It's so important to me. And you will attract the right minded people like you are. And like you were discussing about sharing and benefiting others, people come to me all the time asking for help. And I always gladly give it because what's for me is for me and no one can steal it. I always let go, let God. I have become certified as a minority woman owned company on my own. I did it myself. And the SBA woman owned small business. It's very hard to do these things on your own. When people come to you for help, the most you can do is I can show them as much as I know, and then I let them know that God will tell them the rest of the way. I have appointments for people who want to understand the government contracting arena. I don't know everything, but I can only tell them what I know and show them how I've gained help. And like you said, like minded people, I have found so many people, especially on LinkedIn, that will reach out and they are far ahead than I am that said, look, I saw you in a training and I reached out to you. And sometimes you're on an island on your own. You don't know anyone, but people reach out to me and they're best friends now. And I love that. You really do have to be positive. And for me, the benefits for my clients, when I was flying 12 hours from New York to Dubai, and I thought about my oxygen concentrator being 12 hours, and you can have a backup battery, that made me feel great. There's many people who are affected when their patients or family member is diagnosed with lung cancer or lung disease, and their whole world is turned upside down. And what they are given is the oxygen tanks where you're stuck at home. Now, the oxygen concentrator, like you said, it gives them their lifestyle back, and people are deserving of that. They can go to their graduation, go to parties, live their lifestyle as they wish. And that brings me gratitude that I'm able to give them oxygen. I am asthmatic, so I do know how not being able to breathe feels. So that gives me gratitude that I am able to give my clients present and future. And I love to pray on them before and after. I want the right type of people. My people are there for me and they will find me. They say that. So I'm really grateful that I
Absolutely.
came on the call today and I have my journal. Everything is in alignment with me. I love this. Thank you,
It's funny
Coach
you should say that because
Marvin.
I just happen to have sitting right next to me. This is the daily journal that I think is one of the best. This is the daily journal it's called the Daily Greatness Journal, a practical guide for consciously creating your days. It's a great, great journal, and I mean, it's a whole year of opportunity, and I think that it's just a wonderful thing to have. But I'm also a pen and paper person. I like to write stuff down. Some people like to do journaling; they like to do it digitally. It really doesn't matter how you do it, as long as you're doing it. You gotta practice this stuff and put it a part, make it a part of your habits, because that will help you greatly. Thank you so very much for your thoughts, Pam. I'll put you backstage for a minute. I'm gonna bring Michael up because I know he got some great stuff to share. Michael, what are you thinking about what we're talking about today?
I tell you what. Well, first of all, being gracious for your gifts, things that God have given you to share with the world. But not only that, having faith and walking the journey. What I mean by that is God gives you a baseline or a foundation of gifts. So not only do you have to be prepared to use those gifts, but you have to be willing to expand those gifts by actively seeking out education, actively seeking out like-minded individuals that can help you grow, whether they be on LinkedIn, whether it be in an industry event or any other type of event. And you have to genuinely contribute to the conversation, right? You have to
Absolutely.
genuinely be involved in the whole conversation. You
That's
have
right.
to do what you say you're going to do. You have to grow. And so that gives you not just the theory in your education, but the expertise and the application. So through
Absolutely.
your gratitude and through your endeavors, growth will occur, growth will happen. And we're talking about benefits, right? So
Mhm.
as you develop yourself, you will become a better resource for not only yourself, your peers, but also your clients.
Man, you
People do
spoke to some
business.
stuff.
Yeah.
Say it. Keep going. Keep going. I'm gonna shut
I
up.
mean, yeah, no, but then also, there's also another factor, right? You have to be likable, for lack of a better word. Not only do they have to first believe what you're giving to them, believe in the gift that you're giving to them, believe that you're equipped to give them that gift, but they say it all the time. People do business with people that they like, right?
That's true. That's right.
So as you go out there and you build your relationships, you have to keep in mind what does your customer need? Every customer that I do assessments for or governance risk and compliance for, they don't need the same thing. If it's a customer that's in the private sector or state and local, hey, I may be able to assist them to get more clients or more business by helping them with ISO 27001. But if it's a customer in the defense industrial base, I have to, be able to advise them, hey, it's better for you to look at getting CMMC. Or if it's in the federal space, oh, it's better. You're in a federal space, you're using federal tools. You need to use risk management framework. But what I'm saying in all those complex terms is you have to be able to talk to and dig through all the minutia to find out what they need. You have to be able to lean back and depend on your expertise and your knowledge to be able to bring that value, that product there. And if you have gaps in your knowledge, don't be afraid to team up and work with somebody to bring that customer exactly what they need.
Yep.
An unpopular opinion. If you don't
I
have
think
the expertise, don't do
that's
it.
the best opinion. That's the absolute best opinion in the world because you know that whole fake it till you make it idea is a losing idea.
It's a
You
losing
know, you
proposition.
might be
Yes.
able to get over once or twice, but after a while, your reputation is going to be you don't know what you're talking about, and nobody's going to trust you. You know that whole mantra that you said earlier. People do business with they people that they know, like, and trust.
Hmm.
It starts with knowing, right? I can't like you if I don't know you. There's nothing to like about you. I can't trust you if I don't like you. I can't. It's just not going to happen, right? And so when trust happens, when you get to trust, you find that things happen lightning fast, and you get there immediately. But you can't bust through the system. You can't get right to trust from I don't even know you. Right?
Absolutely.
You gotta go through that process. But you said something else that reminded me of something that I needed to share with everybody. You know, there is a process for beginning a relationship. And there's 3 steps that we all have to take no matter what we're doing in any kind of professional relationship. And those 3 steps, I'm gonna bring Pamela back up the stage. But those 3 steps are first, you need to listen to people, right? Mike, if you try to do discovery and you're not really truly listening to people, what are you discovering? You're not discovering nothing. You're not going to
Mm.
uncover the problem, right? You're not going to uncover the solution, or you where you can come in and be the hero because you ain't listening, right? So one, you got to listen. Number two, and you said this, Mike, you got to follow up and follow through and do the things you say you're going to do. If you listen to a person, just paying attention to them in the first place, that indicates there's a promise that's about
Mhm.
to be made, right? If you listen to somebody and you listen to them and ain't no reason for you to listen to them, then there's no expectation, right? But if you're listening to me, and I probably people, human beings work like this. There's people who have never had anybody listen to them. Never. They have never had anyone pay attention
Mhm.
in a way that matters, right? And so now when they get it, they're like, oh my God, you're special. They'll immediately like you. Why?
Absolutely.
Because you're paying attention, right?
Mhm.
So first, you got to pay attention. You got to listen. Number two, you got to follow up. You got to make a promise, and you got to follow up and follow through on that promise.
Mhm.
And it could be something as small as, hey, I found this article. Then I thought of you when I read this article. I think you're really going to love it. Or if you're at an industry function, listen, I don't know if you are you familiar with this new thought process or new idea that just came out. Did you hear about this? They go like, no, I'm gonna send you the article. But do me a favor, read it, and let's commit to having a discussion about it because I think it will really help you move forward. And I know I'll be interested in your feedback. So would you mind if I call you in a couple of days to get your feedback on this brand new ideal concept or article that just came out that's affecting our industry?
Mhm.
First of all, if somebody says no to that, what do you know about them?
Mhm.
Probably weren't willing. They weren't in it, totally in the first place. So
Right. That's not a person you want to play with, right? They're not engaged anyway. They're not engaged in the industry that you belong to. They're not interested in anything about moving forward, and they don't maybe don't even read. So this is somebody you want to play with. You can ask. So rule number one, listen. Rule number two, follow through and follow up. Rule number three is the rule number two is make a promise. I messed up my own system. Make that promise and then follow up and follow through. Because once you make a promise, now you've set an expectation.
mhm.
And if you do it right, you deliver on that expectation, not over deliver, not under deliver. You deliver on that expectation and you're going to develop trust fast. But people show up all the time and they have nothing to share, nothing to offer that's of meaning and value, and they expect people to trust them. Or even worse, I love this one. I gotta educate my client before they really value.
Wow. Mm.
People say that all the time. I'm like, well, I got to show you this, and I got to show you that, and I got to show you like, you don't got to show me nothing because I don't even like you enough to pay attention to you.
That's correct. Yes.
If you show me something, I'm not gonna listen to it because I don't even like you. So it's nothing that you're gonna show me your wonderful presentation, your beautiful website, and all that. Look, that's gonna be impressive to me. That's not impressive. You already messed up by not listening to me,
Mhm.
right? So you listen to me, I want to listen to you because they say one good turn deserves another, right? All right, guys, I'm gonna let you guys. Do you guys have any closing thoughts on what we talked about today? And we're gonna put you backstage. I got some things I want to share with both of you. What happened? Where'd she go? Okay, she's back. Any closing thoughts, Pamela?
Yes, I'm 100% agreeable with you. Someone will speak to you on the phone, just selling to you, but don't know what you want. And then I'm like, you could have avoided that if you asked me what I wanted and tailor made it and customized the conversation towards that. And some people are shocked at that, but you need to ask the right questions and not yeah, not everything is just I prefer to know that someone is thinking of me and I like people who ask me questions. I tell them what that I want and they customize it and then I'm a happy camper from there. So I agree with you. Yeah. Otherwise I just shut off.
That's so true.
Thank you.
I'll tell you how to close me if you just give me a word edgewise. You might find a way to get in there. Mike, any last thoughts you want to
Absolutely.
share?
So just to caveat with what both you saying, I mean, don't be afraid to create tools that are gonna kind of elicit those answers from your potential customers and help you with your onboarding. Such as, you can use Google Forms to have an onboarding tool or a pre-call questionnaire. That's going to let I mean, if first you've already talked to them, they said they set up a call with you, so don't be afraid to reach out to them and say, hey, could you answer these three little questions? And even if they
Mm,
don't answer those questions and they read it right, at least it's already in their mind so they can communicate to you what they need. So you can have a very clear picture of what they need, and then you can work with them to articulate how you can help them, how you can provide the benefits they're looking for.
Oof.
Well said.
Oh,
Nice.
that's beautiful, Mike. That is beautiful.
Mm,
And I'm reminded that because if I mess around and tell you what I need, I'm literally expecting you to come back with something that's going to help me get there,
that's right.
right? And
Yes.
so it's super. But if you never ask me, if you don't ask me in the right way, or you ask me some stuff that has nothing to do with what I need, you're never going to get that information that you need to actually come back and serve me. It's not going to happen,
Not gonna
because
happen.
I'll know that I haven't given you all the information. In
That's
fact, I'm
right.
the first person to know. Here's a question for you both that I know I shouldn't throw this in here, but I think you'd be excited by it. People want your trust, right? They want you to trust them, right? But the only person that knows what is going to be required to win your trust is you, right? So why don't we just walk around every day telling people how to win our trust? Why don't we give everybody the golden secret? Why don't we give everybody the ticket? It's like, hey, you want me to trust you, right? So here's what you got to do. You got to do this, and this, and then I'll give you the trust. Why don't we do that? What do y'all think?
One, it's not in human nature, right? Because we come from
Right.
small family groups, right?
Right.
And normally outside your family group, there's not too many people that you're confiding in and providing information on your weaknesses or things that could affect you. So we
Mm-hmm.
carry some of these same thoughts and traits into our business relationships. So it's human psychology basically.
Absolutely. I love it. I love that thought process. What do you think, Pamela? Why don't we just tell everybody? Why don't we just wear it all on our sleeve and tell everybody how to get into our pocketbook?
That is so funny because I've been told the British accent is the number one trusted accent in the world. And I looked it up. I'm like, really? Is there a thing? So, hey,
Yes.
I
Yes.
have it on my lips. I'm joking.
Listen, there's a reason why the sun never sets on the British Empire.
That was good. Amazing.
But and it's right about you're right about that. There's certain people, there's certain ethnic groups, there are certain geographies that matter more than others in the workplace or in the Western, specifically in the Western world, right? You can't ignore that. As much as I poo poo the West for the spirit of competition and dog eat dog mentality that they've trained us all to believe, and the lies they tell us about, oh, if you just work hard, everything will work out. That's not true. That's not. There's people who work themselves
Nope.
right into an early grave all the time, right? So that's not always true. You're not going to work hard. You got to work hard. You got to work smart, but you also have to work with the right people. And that's really more aligned with what I think is true. But they won't tell you all that because they don't want you to actually know the right people to work with. That's a whole different conspiracy theory. I'm not going to get caught up in that. But it's important that we have the ability to articulate when we know for a fact that there's somebody who needs to trust us, and we think they might be trustworthy. We need to give them a window into the opportunity. We need to let them know, well, this is what you're going to do. This is what I need to see in order for you to trust me. And I would start to do this even if I were you guys. Ask for specific trust. And what I mean by that is, if there's somebody who can make an introduction for you that would matter, or if it's somebody that you bumped into that can invest in you in a way that would matter, ask them the specific question. What do I need to show you? What do I need to do to even be in the ballpark of winning your trust so much so that you'd be willing to invest XYZ dollars in my company? What do I need to be, do, or have, or show you to win your trust so that you'll introduce me to your greatest business mentors? Most people who get asked that question, it's such a refreshing question
Mhm.
because everybody wants to win their trust, but nobody asks them for it. And nobody asks them how to do it. So they take a stab in the dark. Oh, if I put this right presentation together, I'm gonna win their trust. If I dress this way, if I shake their hand this way, if I introduce myself this way, then I'm gonna win their trust. No, you might not. You might just offend them.
That's right.
Why don't you just ask them instead of beating around the bush and say, listen, I'd love to earn your trust such that you would introduce me to your greatest business mentors, but I don't know how to get there. Well, how would you suggest I do? What would you suggest I do to earn your trust? I've asked that question to thousands of people over the last 30 years, and trust me, it's gotten me into doors that there was no way possible for me to get into unless I was willing to at least ask the question. Now, I don't have to do what they asked me to do, but when I ask the question, I'm opening them up to their own fears, their own doubts, their own hesitations, and they're starting to realize, oh, right, I never trusted, like Michael said, I never trust somebody that's not in my tribe. And maybe I need to open up my mind and do better.
That's true.
So anyway, I'm gonna close out the show,
100%.
guys. It was great to have you on. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for answering the call. I know it was last minute. I try to get more organized in how I do these things, but hey, I'm only one guy. I don't have any assistants, but I got lots of excuses about why I can't do stuff.
But you do it good though.
Anytime.
So
Thank you. You're excellent.
So I'm gonna put you guys backstage. So don't go anywhere. I'm gonna close out the show, and then I'm gonna come back, and I got a little something special for you, ladies and gentlemen. This is Coffee Tea, You and Me. I told you every week I bring you some of the greatest rock stars, some of the biggest minds in the industries that you would be interested in. And if you ever had any questions or any thoughts about, Brother Council, I'm gonna put his information out here too, so he can. So he put his stuff here, so I'm gonna make sure I share it with people. Uh-huh. We'll put them over here in the comment section. Boom, boom, boom. There you go. Booyah. For anybody who's having any questions, you can find Mike on Facebook, on YouTube, on LinkedIn. His information is showing up in the comment section right now. If you're trying to find my girl, Pamela, here is her information. I think that's her website. Okay. Let me put that in here so I promised her I would do that. So we honor our promises, right? We make promises, we keep promises, and we honor our promises. Do that, people are more likely to trust us. When we call them at the last minute, they go, hey, could you be on the show? So that's pretty nice. Thank you. That's Pamela. That's how you get in contact with her. Thank you guys for being a part of the show. Again, if you have any questions, the chat is open. It'll be open for whether you're watching this on demand or you're watching this anywhere. You can always go onto YouTube, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, and enter your question or thought or comment, smart remark in the chat. If you enter anything that's nasty or whatever, I probably will delete that. I'll let you know right off the bat. So, because we don't do it negative or nasty comments at all about anything or anyone. It's not going to happen. Not on my watch. This is Coach Power Training and Development signing off. Good to see you guys. Hope to see you next week at Coffee Tea, You and Me.